Hello, I'm Patrick Betancourt. I'm working with Gian Collinsag for the KFC Crispy commercial. Here it is.
Yeah, hey yo, I need my thing crispy. How will it treat me? I got you in front of me, it's getting risky. I like my meal size, double XL, you know. All for myself, no one gotta tell, you know. Excuse me, where that chicken at? Miss these tenders with that secret sauce, I don't need assistance. Say for now, I need it crispy. I took flight, baby, all these wings have me lifting. Crispy, crispy, yeah. Spiced up bucket, crispy, crispy, say crispy. Double XL, I need my chicken all crispy.
So, as you just saw, this is a very stylish and very enticing commercial. They're trying to make you buy their chicken because they're a fast food brand. Because this is a fast food commercial, there's not a lot of logos. Because if it was logic based, then you would know that fast food isn't really good for you. So they really focus on ethos and pathos for this piece. And obviously, the message of this commercial is that KFC chicken is made with professionalism, passion, a lot of talent, and it's very crunchy, crispy, and delicious. They show this because obviously they want you to buy their food so they can make money. But they do it so that it entices you to buy the food. They're showing like all these shots with like the golden like glow and like the Colonel Sanders moving around the kitchen very like stylishly, very professionally. Like he knows what he's doing. It entices the viewer to go out and buy KFC. So, this ad takes place at nighttime. It's in Kentucky 1952 in Colonel Sanders' kitchen and a modern KFC drive-through. People in here are Colonel Sanders, some woman from upstairs putting on makeup. Not sure if it's his wife or like some random just woman. And two customers at the end, one male and one female. The events, Colonel Sanders makes some fried chicken for his customers. You can see here that, or at the beginning, that it says Kentucky 1952, so it could imply that these are kind of like the humble beginnings of KFC. Kind of like, it kind of shows a time skip. You can see like Colonel Sanders in a very old-fashioned looking home, making all this fried chicken with very old-fashioned looking equipment, and then as soon as he gives the chicken out to the window, you can see it transitions into a more modern looking KFC. So before getting into what we know about KFC, let's talk about a little bit of the audience, just a tiny bit, because Gian will get more into it later. But what we know is that this ad is clearly targeted towards teenagers and young adults, with the kind of stylish movements and then also like the clearly hip hop inspired beat and song in the background. And then you can see the young adult customers in their car at night getting KFC. This kind of reinforces that kind of like teenagers and young adults like to kind of like drive at night. They kind of like to chill out and just kind of like, maybe get something to eat. Maybe they're like, they don't have a lot of money because maybe they're in college, they have a lot of debt, or they're just not doing that well financially, so they get something cheap and delicious. They look at this, they see this ad, and they're hook, line, and sinker. So what we know about KFC is that they are a fast food company that makes fried chicken. They also make a lot of other chicken-based foods, but fried chicken is their bread and butter. The attitudes of this commercial are very relaxed, but also upbeat, and their beliefs, as shown at the end of the video or the end of the ad, is that their fried chicken is the crispiest and has always been the crispiest. I'll go into more of that later.
The artist wants to be viewed in a more positive light and look enticing so the customers can buy their food. And they presume that the audience has a positive attitude towards the KFC brand and their food. And their purpose is to entice people into ordering KFC because of its delicious taste, satisfying crunch, and ordering it will make you feel happier as a person.
When it comes to logos, there's not a lot of that here because they focus more on ethos and pathos in order to more entice you and more connect you to your feelings to entice you to buy some more chicken. But when it comes to logos, there is a couple things. So when it shows Colonel Sanders cooking the chicken, it shows that Colonel Sanders, which is the founder of KFC and the mascot, cooking the chicken shows the viewer that the chicken is professionally made. Obviously, Colonel Sanders is a very iconic, very noticeable figure, very noticeable logo. When you see Colonel Sanders, you kind of think of KFC. So seeing Colonel Sanders make that chicken, it shows like the original recipe and the original way the chicken was made, kind of. The next thing, the array of different spices, ingredients, and utensils. You can see when it kind of zooms in into the house, you can see all this stuff on the table, and then also when he goes into the fridge, you can see all the ingredients and like all this stuff that he uses to make the chicken. It shows that the chicken will be very tasty and have a lot in them, which people will want when they buy chicken, because a lot of people buy food in order to just have that good taste and just like kind of feel good about it. When it comes to pathos, there's when the customers got their chicken and drove off happily. It shows that seemingly everyday people getting KFC makes them happy, and it makes you will make you happy when you buy KFC because it tastes good, all the 9 yards. When Colonel Sanders grabbed one of the fried chickens he made and took a bite of it, making a loud crunch, with a woman in another room hearing it through the vent. So here, it shows that the chicken is very crunchy. You might be wondering how this might appeal to emotion. Well, let me give you an example. So a lot of people in the fall, in the autumn, when they like all the dried up leaves are on the ground, a lot of people will step on them, and just to hear that kind of crunch sound, because to a lot of people that crunch sound is very satisfying and very very nice to hear. So hearing that crunch from Colonel Sanders taking the bite from the chicken, it very activates that kind of like emotion, that kind of like thought process, like the very satisfying and very pleasant feeling of that crunch.
An example of ethos, which is the appeal to credibility and or character, would be at the beginning of the ad when it shows the text that says Kentucky 1952. Although this only shows for a brief couple of seconds, it shows the viewer that KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, is homemade and has been for around 71 years, implying they are professionals at making fried chicken. When they featured Colonel Sanders in the commercial, it showed that their founder and mascot cared about the recipe. And when Colonel Sanders was shown dusting off flour off of his outfit, this showed that he has made some fried chicken before this ad takes place. Again, symbolizing that he is good at making fried chicken. And the featuring of their logo at the end of the ad shows, after seeing a story about how appealing KFC is, seeing the logo at the end helps the viewer remember it and possibly check it out when seeing it outside. An example of syllogism would be when they showed that when they make their chicken, they make it with passion and style. This shows that if this one location cooks with so much passion, then all of their locations must be passionate about the way they make their food. Another example would be when the crunch that is heard when Colonel Sanders and the woman in the car take a bite out of the chicken. As said before, lots of people find the sound of crunching satisfying and pleasant. So the fact that KFC chicken is a crunchy and crispy means that their fried chicken will leave you satisfied and happy.